And you're welcome back to the National Aquatic Centre. We've got 3 sessions to bring you today. We've had first session of heats, finals this evening, 5 o'clock. But in the middle, we're going to concentrate on the 800 metres freestyle. And these are mixed, women and men, throughout the 6 heats. So it's quite a considerable amount to get through. We're going to start with heat 1, and David Thompson's with me as well, so we will talk to David. And also, we have Bethany Carson, Women in Sport Development Officer, Jade Murphy, who's apprentice coach in Limerick, and Zoe Smith, who's apprentice coach in Dublin on the P28 squad, to chat through what's going to be a session that's going to take probably about an hour. But we will have Daniel Whiffen a little later on, who's the star name really here now, having swum a time which is 6th fastest in the world ever in the 1500 metres at the recent Scottish Nationals. He goes in heat 6 of 6. This is the first heat. It's Phoebe Linnett of Trident Swimming Club in lane number 1. Jill Connolly in 2 from Asgard. Then we got Antonia Seck of Sunday Swell Swimming Club going in 3. Aoife Ferrick of Limerick going in 4. Kate Prunty in 5 from Slaney. It's Ruby Carney of Swan Leisure Centre in Swimming Club, I should say, in lane number 6. And then Sorkin Reen from Limerick out in lane number 8. And these are all timed swims as well, David.
Yeah, 800 freestyle, so on to the longer events. We had the 50s, 100s, 200s this morning, no 400s, so straight up to the 8. Again, all about rhythm, all about, all these girls will have done so many 50s at their required 800 pace. So it's all about slotting into that pace, that rhythm, and just churning over, especially after the first 100, sort of set your stroke up. And then 50 to 50, just like clockwork, like we'll see with Daniel Whiffen in the last heat.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing Daniel, because he obviously broke the 800 free and the 1500 free.
En route to the 15, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing swim. And we just had a little look at him, and obviously before off air, doing bit of work there with Martin McGinn. And he looks tall, he looks lean.
Phenomenal stroke.
I mean, his arm's length now is nearly as big as Thomas Darney, that's the albatross.
Yeah.
He looks a phenomenal athlete, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's he went over to Loughborough University, coaching by Andy Manley out there, and he's just came on leaps and bounds over the last 2 years. I don't think we would ever think somebody could go 14-14. Like, it's 7 seconds, maybe 8 off the world record.
Yeah.
For somebody from Ireland to be, and that's on a 1500, so from someone from Ireland to be so close is incredible.
Well, the new world champion, his name escapes me at the moment, if I can think of him, is 2 seconds slower.
Yeah.
So the World Short Course Championships out in Australia.
Yeah, he would have won that. He would have probably won the 800, depending. I think he will absolutely fly here, but he's personally, I think it's the greatest swim we've ever seen by an Irish person. What do you think, John?
It's not far off. It's not far off in terms of time, and your swimmers are just all purely tunnel vision about time. In terms of medal presentations, maybe not, but he's building up to something probably special in the Olympic Games in Paris
Definitely.
in a couple of years' time.
Especially now the 800 has been added for the men.
Yeah.
So he's going to have, for sure, be an Olympic finalist, for sure.
Just to let you update you on this race you're seeing in front of us is Antonia Seck of Sunday's Wells Swimming Club leads them through. Second is Aoife Ferrick of Limerick, and third Jill Connolly, but it's a long race, 800 free. Glad to be joined by former Irish international Bethany Carson, Women in Sport Development Officer. I'm just back from maternity leave. Congratulations. All is well with the family, yeah?
Yes, thank you. Back to business, and it feels like I've never been gone.
So tell us, as the Women in Sport Development Officer, what's your role? What do you bring to the table?
Yeah, so basically I'm in charge of developing and delivering our programs targeted at women in sport. So in swimming, we're quite blessed with our swimmers are actually pretty even with women in sport. We're 50-50 or thereabouts, but then we have a little bit of work to do in our coaching and officiating, and then some of the wider participation stuff as well. So we're coming to the end of our financial year in terms of our grant funding from Sport Ireland. So we'll be reapplying next year to redevelop our program. So we're welcome to any more ideas if you've got feedback from the programs that we've run so far.
In terms of female swimmers, you're obviously an international yourself. Are you going to are you still doing any work in terms of swimming?
So I was coaching up until maternity leave at the National Centre here in Dublin. Absolutely loved it. But with the 2 rules, it was quite tricky at the time, never mind when you bring a baby into the mix. So for now, I'm leaving the coaching for a little bit, but I'll definitely be back. And obviously I'm always keeping in touch with what's going on in Irish swimming. But for now I'll be focusing on the more participation side and the membership side of women in sport.
Yeah, encompassing a lot more sport as well rather than just swimming.
Pardon?
Encompassing a lot more than just swimming.
Yeah, exactly. So like we're trying to redefine what swimming means, you know, especially those outside of performance world. You know, aquatics is the term. We can do aqua aerobics. It doesn't have to be traditional lap swimming, but like one of our main programs there in the participation sector is the Swimming Women. So it's an umbrella term. It encompasses a couple of different specific programs, like our midlife female program, which is all about supporting women throughout the life cycle. So it's getting in the water, getting active, but not necessarily being able to swim a mile, you know, like our Swim for a Mile program, which again would be dominantly female. It's about 70% female. So yeah, it's all about exploring all the options in the water. It doesn't have to be traditional lap swimming.
Antonia Seck still leading this first heat, by the way. She's in lane 3 Sunday as well. 15 years of age, very young cohort of swimmers here. Sorcha Nireen from Limerick is in lane number 7. She's only 13. David, if you want to ask a few questions of our guest,
Beth, you mentioned there about the participation in swimming, very 50-50 between male and female. Is that sort of not the same in other sports?
Yeah, you'd find like in athletics and a few other sports that they like. I mean, everybody experiences a dropout at teenage. Those are the key years. But for swimming, I think it's a little bit better because we do have, and same in athletics in terms of the female and the males, they compete the same day. It's not like a judo, say, where a competition, it'd be very much split. The women might be in the morning and the men in the afternoon or something like that. So we're blessed that way. But as I said, the coaching is really where we're focused on trying to increase. So we have the coaching and mentoring program in Swim Ireland, which has a few different factors. So through the years since it started in 2018, we've managed to bring up the female.
Very few female coaches. Like me and Beth swam together when we swam together in Lisburn years and years ago. Yeah. I don't remember, but Fran Ronan from New Ross was maybe the only female in that. Honestly, I can't.
Very sparse. So that's like one of the reasons I had a really good experience in my years of swimming. I wanted to put that back in and become a coach. So now we're able to do that, and we've found that our level 1s and level 2s are now even. So we're 50-50.
Brilliant.
But for the level 3 coaching, which is that bit higher, we need some work there. And
what sort of initiatives does you?
So the coaching and mentoring program that we deliver offers.
Is the coaching sort of your focusing on what the Women's Sport program?
That's one of the big ones, yeah. So basically, we offer a discounted course fee for people trying to do their coaching qualifications, and then we support them after that. So it's not just here, do the course. Here's a bit of mentorship. So we do that locally. We have the national, the performance mentorship, which you're going to talk to the girls, Jade and Zoe. They're part of that. They're in our national centre. So it's about not just reducing the barriers like cost and belief. It's about supporting them, so making sure that they're not just, a lot of the times when you do a qualification, you're like, okay, what do I do now? Our goal is to try and nurture that pathway and get more head coaches being female.
Of clubs.
Exactly.
And is it mainly, would you say it's mainly ex-swimmers, or do you get a sort of contingent from people that don't really have any background in swimming?
We get a real mix. So we get previous swimmers like myself and Jade and Zoe, who are about to speak later, but we also have mothers or people who are lap swimmers, had to take time away, much like myself, raising a family, and then they come back in. So it's important that we bring those women back in. Once they take a break, they're not gone forever. We can get them back. So it's just about making that an attractive option for them to be a part of the coaching team.
All right, just take a little break there because we've got 3 lengths of the pool to go in this opening heat of the 800 metres freestyle. It's a mixed event, but this all girls involved in this opening heat. And they'll have 50 metres to swim. Lane 3, Antonio Sek of Sunday as well. Here's the bell.
Yeah, it must be a great sound to hear that bell. 50 to go.
Eva Ferrick in lane 4 in second place from Limerick. And third place is Katie Prunty. These are all heat declared winners, as they call it. Basically, swim as fast as you possibly can and hope that your swim is good enough to pick up a medal. It's a good battle between these two as they come down the last 25. Lane 3 is going to get it though. She's been out in front for a long time. 15-year-old Antonio Sek of Sunday as well Swimming Club wins it. Heat 1.
PB. 7 seconds
as well.
PB.
Yeah, it's a good time under 10 as well, 10 minutes. So what is she? 9:44.
9:44.59. Yeah.
Good time.
Aoife Ferrick 9:45.61. It's like I was saying earlier, John. It's that change almost of energy system in the 800. You know, you set up the stroke in the first sort of 100 meters, you get into the rhythm, and then that last 100, you've got to switch the gear up. Very difficult to do.
Kate Prunty in third. There's your 1, 2, 3. There you go. Sek, Ferrick, Prunty. That's heat 1 of 6. It's again all women in our next heat. Men predominantly.
Heat 4 they come in.
Heat 4, yeah. And then to the end, we got the men, and it's all men in the 6th and final heat. But we mentioned Daniel Whiffen, the real star of Irish swimming now at the moment. It's kind of usurped the likes of Mona McSherry, an Olympic finalist, with that time in the 1500 and 800 at the recent Scottish Nationals. We're moving on now to heat number 2 of 6. And there's your lineup. It's Linny Markey of St. Felix in lane 0. Carsodi Nagy of New Roscoe's in 1. Philippa Hickman of our visiting Nova Centurion Club, the 14-year-olds, in 2. Emily Parkins, our teammate, in 3. Neva Kenny, Erlingus in 4. Then Eva Walsh, Temple Ogue in 5. Ava Rock is in lane number 6 in New Ross. Hannah Malloy, Trojan in lane number 7. Then Eva Hand in lane number 8, and lane number 9 is Abby Cunningham in 9. I'll keep an eye on the pool. Yourself and Beth can chat away.
Perfect. Yeah, Beth, I was just noticing there the majority of swimmers in this 800 are actually women. So there's only.
You know, the girls are hard workers.
They are harder than the boys.
They're not scared of a bit of distance.
Yeah.
But no, it's great. There's 6 heats in this today?
6, yeah, I think, because we go.
You know, it's a daunting event to take on, but
brutal.
They're going for it. But yeah, I meant to say the coaching and mentoring program also, like a lot of work that we need to do now is in the water polo and diving sections.
Yeah.
Swimming, we're getting there. We're almost there with you know, equality and genders, but we need a bit of work to do then in the water polo and diving. But we also have our leadership program that is not just for coaches. It could be officials. It's not really targeted at coaches. It's more for officials, referees, board members, committees. So that can work for club level, regional, national. And it's all about, it's like an 8-week program. We deliver it with consultants, and it's all about building those skills that are critical
required
in
for
leadership.
officiating.
Exactly.
Yep.
And the more we upskill people, the more they'll be willing to take on those sorts of roles. You know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange because I retired very recently in the summer there, and I've noticed a big change over the course of with women in sport and more women coming in with coaching, even like you said with officials and things like that. It is certain sports that swimming not so much, is they are very male dominated. Mm-hmm. So not so much actually with the Olympic sports. You know, a lot of Olympic sports are very sort of, because they're equally represented, but I think it's a brilliant initiative to have more female coaches.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just about equality, you know? The programs are all there. They, like, a lot of the stuff we run in Swim Ireland, it's open to everyone. We get a few males every now and again being like, hold on a minute, what's there for us? But there's something for everyone. It's just we get the funding to support the females through these. But it also doesn't necessarily mean that a program has to be just for females. It can be male and female, and it has to benefit the female demographic. So, like, that's what I'm saying. We're about to be applying for more funding.
And sorry about to interrupt you. You've been in the role for how long now?
Since 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
And you obviously work solely with swimming. Does this exist within other sports, a similar kind?
Oh yeah, most sports would have a woman in sport officer.
Sorta, yeah, okay.
But now Swim Ireland, like, we have been leading the way for quite some time in women in sport. We've done quite a few initiatives that other governing bodies they've joined in on with us, like the leadership programme, or they've started with us and then now they deliver it themselves to their own members. So it's great, like, it's a good community out there. Sport Ireland do a lot of work to try and connect all of the women in sport officers, and especially with local sports partnerships for those community programmes. So it's a good network out there.
I'm sure it probably took a hit during COVID, did it?
I mean, everyone did, didn't they? But I think one thing from COVID is online opportunities and content really boosted. So there was obviously barriers, but there was also opportunities. So
yeah. No, it's brilliant to see. So Beth, you swam the 800 free. We were talking there before. You used to swim it.
Yeah, I was talking in particular about a time that a fire actually broke out in Lisburn.
And you got to get out.
And I didn't have to swim the 800. But I used to do the distance events quite a lot as
Did you set off the fire, did you, before you started?
Well, that's yet to be confirmed or denied. But no, the distance events, like, it's really hard. You have to keep your cool in the first few 100 metres. Like,
not get too excited.
Yeah, if you get too excited, your pace is going to be way off and you're going to be hurting in that last 100, 150. So
it's always like, I was a sprinter, so very different, but it's always find extremely difficult if you're out on your own. Like, Daniel Whiffen will be out in his own here later, just you're swimming on your own.
Yeah, but I mean, Daniel will be used to that in terms of training. You know, you get that pace locked in, and that is your pace. So as long as you stick to the plan, you should be okay. It's just your competitors come into play on those that back end to push you on past what you've been training. But I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think there'll be a big Irish record incoming anyway.
And that's how we stand. Niamh Kenny is leading in lane number 5. She's got about 3/4 of body length, maybe a bit more advantage, slightly more, about 2 body lengths ahead. And you can see the boards changing all the time at the other end of the pool, just to give them an indication of how many laps they have to go. Kenny's been out on her own for quite a distance. We will have Daniel Whiffen coming up in that last heat, but we're going through the women's events at the moment. 800 metres freestyle, tough event, 13 laps to go. So you're looking forward to the challenge then, Bethany, to the Women in Sports Institute, looking forward to the challenge?
Yeah, so as in reapplying for funding? Is that what you mean?
I didn't bring my wallet. Sorry.
There's always a challenge, basically. We're ready to step up. But yeah, so we will be redeveloping all these programs now next year. So there's opportunity for growth there. So that's what I was saying. If anyone has any thoughts and feedback, Bethany Carson at swimireland.ie, that's how you get me. And we're always willing to speak, especially to the members who have been through the programs. I know we're about to talk to Zoe and Jade now, who are in the mentorship at the minute.
Yeah, we get them at the end of this particular heat. Tell us, before we wrap things up with you, the state of Irish swimming at the moment. What do you think to it?
I think it's very positive. I mean, a lot's changed obviously since I was swimming, and I was lucky to be a part of the National Centre Dublin, and there was a big change over there, and the whole performance system, and just watching the professionalism grow. It's been a real pleasure. To just say that it took a few years, but Ireland is very much on the map now. People know our swimmers. I mean, thanks to Daniel Whiffen recently especially. We have a lot of competitors. We take it very seriously. We always have, but now we have the structures in place for sustainability. So
I think it's a level of professionalism has just changed since especially we were young. It's just night and day. Night and day.
There might be a minor criticism as well that some of our top swimmers are still going abroad to swim. Do you think we need to get them back into a more central structure like the NAC?
I think it works both ways. I think you can have swimmers that go abroad and really succeed abroad. I think there's a set amount of centres here, and I think swimmers can do well wherever they may be. So it's not. I don't see it as a major concern. I think the centres are looking great. There's a new centre in Ulster, in Bangor, with Kevin Anderson. You know, it's a young group, but you know, it's really going to develop. And I think in Dublin as well, you know, with Ben Hickson leaving, now Steve Beckerleg taking the helm, you know, it takes time to build, and I think the experience of those coaches is second to none. And personally, I don't think it's a huge concern.
Yeah,
Swimmers going abroad, it always has happened, and it always will.
Yeah, it's an individual choice at the end of the day, but the difference is now we can support you to that international level. You know, we have so many opportunities now for people that are staying here, so it's not that you can't succeed from Ireland, which I think is the difference.
When I went to Loughborough University, I went in 2012, and there was nowhere near the resources like there is now here, like at that time. So, you know, it's definitely come on leaps and bounds, and the results speak for that.
All right, we let you go with a second, Beth, after we just see the last of the last couple of lengths, then 3 to go for our leader, which is Neva Kenny's been out on her own for an awful long time, but Ava Rock from New Ross is starting to keep her honest in the last 50 metres to go as they turn at the top of the pool. And they'll hear the bell, it's a welcome sound. And they're pretty much neck and neck here. Kenny in 4, Rock in 6. Kenny is 17 years of age from the Aer Lingus Swim Club. Personal best time of 9 minutes 39. We had a 9 minutes 44 in the previous heat. Ava Rock is just 14 years of age from New Ross.
She's pulling away slightly.
She is.
Look at the legs coming in now.
That's a good turnaround from her. She was some way back, but she's paced this beautifully, hasn't she? The last 5 meters to go. It's going to be
down.
Victory in this heat for Ava Rock. 9:32. That's a good time. Well inside her PB.
10-second PB. Awesome.
10-second PB. That's good. Second is Kenny. And third was Hannah Malloy. Did you swim the 800s at all, Beth?
Oh yeah, I had a few Irish junior records in there, John.
Yeah.
Before
unless we forget.
Yeah. Yes. But no, it's a big event. It's a tough one, but once you lock in that pace, like it is really like you're
you train for it. You train for it.
That's it. Yeah.
You train for it. So
you just have to keep the cool.
Oh, you do. You're right. Anyway, Beth, look, best of luck in the future with the women in sports. You're development officer there as well. What's the year like for you next year now?
Yeah, it'll be a big year. So it never stops really. Like there's always programs running. So we've got Swim for a Mile coming back after COVID. So that's a big event. It's not strictly women in sport, but it's predominantly female. And we have heaps and heaps. There's lots of work. Don't worry, I'll be busy.
We will, no doubt about it. Thanks, Beth Carson, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Beth.
We will. We'll have more to chat to in a few months' time. Jade Murphy, the apprentice coach in Limerick Centre, and also Zoe Smith, the apprentice coach here at the Dublin Centre, working on the Policy 28 programme, of which more anon. We're going to move on to Heat 3 of 6, these timed finals. The women still involved, very much so. Lane 0, nearest to camera, Jessica Purcell from Aer Lingus, the 14-year-old. Clara Doherty in lane number 1. Carrickfinn Swim Club. It's Emma Demant of Nova Centurion, one of our visiting clubs. From Lisburn, it's Amy Dawson in 3. Shay Stewart, also from Nova Centurion. Brina Chamberlain from Cookstown, she's in 5. In 6, Ruth Kelly from New Ross. 7, Hannah O'Shea from Dolphin. Nessa Godden, one of the Godden sisters here from Kilkenny, the 15-year-old in lane number 8. And Ava McNamara of Lisburn City Swimming Club in this, the 800 metres freestyle. Previous heat, 9:32.52, and that is the mark that's been set down for this third heat. Over to you, David.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of PBs so far. So, you know, said there 9:32. So the fastest swimmers in here, seed times, Shay Stewart, Brianna Chamberlain, 9:24, so they'll be looking to get right down, 9 sort of 15-ish, 800 free as well. Like we said before, it's very, very, like these girls will know exactly what their pace needs to be. Their coaches will be in the stands knowing stroke rates, split times, everything, so they'll know exactly. As a swimmer, you know if you're on pace or not. You'll have a really good idea. So I was a freestyler as well, so the advantage of freestyle, or disadvantage for some people, is that you breathe to the side and you can see exactly where you are. So important to swim your own race, but also be aware of sort of what's going on around you. So yeah, they've just set up here. They've done first sort of 150 meters.
Jade Murphy. Yeah, is with us, apprentice coach down in Limerick Centre. Working with John Saranac, aren't you, down there?
Yeah, I'm working with John and Mikey McCarthy as well, and then Lorna Barry is our S&C down there as well.
Yeah, we've obviously seen the work in the Performance Centre here in Dublin, and there's also the one in the north. Tell us about what goes on in Limerick.
Yeah, so we have exciting swimmers down in Limerick at the moment. We have a squad of 23, I think, at the moment, so it's a good bit bigger down than in Dublin or Ulster, which comes with its own challenges as well, but it brings a really good team spirit, and all of our swimmers have training partners and stuff like that, so we're able to push each other on and training, and you know, a lot of the lads and girls, they all live together as well, so they have that special bond as well, so everybody's looking out for each other and supporting each other and just hoping for some fast swimming.
You mentioned there was 23 swimmers. Is that all one squad?
Yeah, just one squad,
with 3 coaches on deck? Yeah. So there's not like a, I know when I swam in Loughborough, there was like a middle distance group and sort of a sprint group. Is it sort of?
Yeah, so we have for different key sessions, so we have the distance swimmers and we have the sprinters, and then we have the breaststrokers and the IMers and stuff like that. So during those key sessions, everybody would be split up then.
But everyone swims at the same time?
Everybody swims at the same time, yeah.
Really, really
we still have a few school goers, so we have 2 sessions. The college students usually come in from 3 to 5, and then the school goers are in from 4 to 6. So we still have a few young ones on the squad, yes.
Great.
Yeah.
So how are you finding the transition from, obviously you were a swimmer yourself,
yeah,
now into coaching, and what sort of things have you noticed that, I've noticed now, I've stopped swimming, even being up here looking down, as a swimmer yourself, you're focused on your own swims. You might watch another race here and there, but what things have you noticed as a, transition from swimming to coaching, and how's that sort of changed your outlook on coaching the sport?
Yeah, so it's really interesting because the last race that I swam was in July in 2021, and then I stepped on deck in October 2021, so just had a few months out of the water, and I was straight back into it. And I was working with Limerick Swim Club then, and obviously started with the centre now a little bit more during the summer, and then obviously we started our apprenticeship programme in September. And it's really interesting dealing with swimmers that you've trained with and now that you're coaching with. We have a really good rapport with the swimmers, and I feel like sometimes they're able to speak to me about something that maybe they don't want to speak to another coach about or anything like that. But it's really interesting as well, just picking up small different things between like the age group swimmers and performance swimming, because obviously I work with the club still as well. So there's a big difference in age group swimming and performance swimming. But it definitely brings its own challenges. Like I was quite nervous in the beginning, like I'm not gonna lie.
Of course, yeah.
Even just learning different stopwatch tricks and stuff like that. But the more I get used to them, and the more they really receive the feedback really well.
I think as well, it's like to have someone relatable. Coaching is really important. I think as a swimmer myself, whether it's an assistant or a head coach, if you know that they understand exactly what you're sort of going through, whether it's tough times during training or in a race situation or something, that's really, so you now stepping into that because all your peers, it's really, really good. So how are the Limerick swimmers doing so far this morning?
So far this morning, happy enough. I think we had a few smiles, a few PBs this morning, which is always really good on the first morning of meet. So that's really exciting. Really hoping for some fast swimming this evening. The boy freestylers did a really, really good job. Boy breaststrokers will be a lot faster this evening. So some really, really good swims, and it's really exciting. Like I think it speaks leaps and bounds for the centre that I came straight from it and I wanted to be back involved again in it.
Yeah.
It makes it really exciting, and the guys in there, there's some real good talent, and they're really, really hard workers.
And what sort of would you have a specific group you would more look after? Would it be breaststrokers or freestylers?
I do tend to go towards the breaststrokers because I was a breaststroker myself.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So I do tend to go with them a little bit more.
You would work with Owen Corby?
I do, yeah. So myself, Owen, Andrew and Emer Doyle as well. we kind of taken over breaststroke a little bit. But I love teaching other strokes as well. Like I've even been helping Maria with her back crawl start now, so I enjoy teaching all the strokes a lot. Like it's really interesting, and the more we watch them and the more we get to know them, and even watching things like Worlds and being able to go abroad and watch swimming over there, like you learn so much.
Oh yeah.
So it's great to be able to come back and be like, well, this is what they're doing, this is what they're doing. So yeah, it's very good.
Definitely. Coming to the end here of the 800, last 200 metres or so, John?
Yeah, 200 metres to go, and this has been a good old battle actually between Ruth Kelly and Hannah O'Shea. 7 to go. It's the turn at the top of the pool now. And these two have been battling it out pretty much throughout the whole race. This is heat 3 of 6 in these timed finals. The previous heat was won in a time of 9:32.53, but we expect these two to go a lot faster than that. We will have mixed men and women's for heat 4 of 6. That's the way it's looking at the moment. Kelly just ahead of O'Shea.
Yeah, about 125 or so to go now, so these girls will be beginning now to pick up the pace and think about bringing the legs in a bit more. You know, during the 800, the leg kick's not really, it's more of a balancing tool in the distance events. You can see there lane 6. Ruth Kelly bringing in the legs now. But their coaches will have talked them through that exactly. You know, when to bring in the legs. Usually, I never did an 800 myself, so I can't compare. But I'd imagine it would be about 100 to go.
I think she was playing a little bit, wasn't she, with Hannah O'Shea. She got up alongside her, but then she just put in a bit of a 6-beat kick there for 2 or 3 lengths just to ease herself away. 3 lengths of the pool to go then in this women's 800. And it's Hannah O'Shea and Ruth Kelly. Kelly now, as I said, pulling away the 17-year-old from New Ross. They'll hear the welcome sound of the bell, signifying 50 metres to go. Second is O'Shea. And a good battle going on for third between Shea Stewart and Nessa Godden. Godden has that at the moment. But we're coming down with 25 minutes to go, and this is the third heat. Ruth Kelly.
Going to be well under 9:30:32, was it?
Yeah, 9:32.52 is the previous, so going to be way under that.
Look at that great leg kick. So tough to do at the end of the 800.
5 minutes to go then. And this will be the fastest time so far by some considerable distance. 9:18.
Yeah. 6-second PB-ish.
Yeah, it's good. We had a lot of PBs this morning as well, which has been great. I just want to give you a comparison if I can get it. If the women's 800 freestyle, it's Grania Murphy's time. It's a full minute quicker than that. So
8:18, yeah, from 2011, yeah.
2011. So,
European Championships.
Yeah.
She might have won a medal actually at that one, was it?
She did?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Eindhoven. Yeah, that's my word. That's 12 years ago.
Yes.
11 years ago. Yeah, she pulled in three medals, I think, at that particular meet. Anyhow, 9:18.24, and that's a winning time for Ruth Kelly, and that's the fastest so far. We've been chatting away to Jade Murphy, the apprentice coach, the Limerick Centre. John Saranac involved down there. Talk about him in a second. As we're going to move it on now to heat 4 of 6, and the men get involved here.
One woman in lane 0. In with the boys.
In with the boys, and that is Jessica Robson from Lisburn. She's in lane 0.
She got the short straw.
They ran out of room for poor old Jessica, so they put her in with the men. Anyway, look, the 800 free is about swimming your own time. I'll give you the lineup now to hit the water. So Robson in 0. Daniel Harvey in 1 from Ards, the 15-year-old. Alexander McAleer of Galway is in 2, and then it's Paddy Cullahy of Kilkenny, the 14-year-old, in 3. Cian Foley, he's 9 years older, 23, from New Ross, in 4. Valentin Hansberger of Hamilton, Aquatics in Dubai, one of the visiting clubs, is in 5. Tara Horgan of Limerick is in 6. Mark Gill in 7. 2 Trojan swimmers side by side, Gill and Keil Loudon of Trojan, and in lane 8, Sundayswell Swimming Club, it is Michael O'Driscoll. We'll wrap up our conversation with Jade Murphy. John Saranek. I saw him at the European Championships earlier on this year in Rome. He's a very well-respected coach, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. So he's obviously from Scotland with his accent, but he grew up with age group swimmers over there, and he arrived over here in 2018,
2018, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in my
before that, 17.
Before,
maybe.
it was
Yeah,
17.
yeah.
So I was in my first year of college. Yeah. So that was back in 2017, and he came in, and it was very hard to understand in the beginning, but after that he's
not that bad.
Yeah, in the beginning he was, but he's just so knowledgeable, and he's very good that if I have ever any questions about anything, I can ask him straight up, and he helps me a lot, especially with club questions or performance questions.
And what sort of things have you really learned from him coaching? 'Cause obviously he's been doing it considerably longer than you.
Yeah, so it's kind of one of the biggest things is how to deal with different swimmers, because obviously
Emotions and
exactly, yeah, dealing with people's emotions. Some people, by hook or by crook kind of a thing. Some people need a little bit more tenderness, and other people,
I think that's a big part of coaching. Just dealing with swimmers' emotions. It's huge,
completely.
huge.
Swimming is such an emotional sport.
Oh,
I think you put so many hours in, and it all comes down to points or whatever. Like watching Owen at the trials, missing out on the Olympics by 0.03
I was here,
or whatever
remember,
it was.
Brutal.
And just making sure that he's coming back better, stronger than ever. And I think he is, for Owen especially, I actually think he's probably in better shape now than he was pre-trials. So we're waiting for a big drop.
We'll wait and see. Don't speak too soon.
We'll wait and see, yeah, of course. We have the faith, though.
So in terms of the program John runs in Limerick, what sort of, what have you sort of taken? What you swam with him?
Yes,
Yeah. So
yeah.
Have you noticed any changes, or how is it? What sets John apart in his coaching, apart from whether maybe a club coach or what sets him apart?
Yeah, I think his knowledge and expertise, and to be honest, what he's done for the centre down there. So when I first arrived, Lars Hummer was the coach for a couple of months before he left. The centre was a lot smaller. We didn't really have proper S&C, and now
she's very good. Lorna's extremely good. Yeah.
So Lorna then joined after John came, and for us that was a massive thing, being able to have Lorna there, and she is so knowledgeable in what she does, and she is great to have. It's also great to have another female there as well for the swimmers.
I think we were talking to Beth earlier. There's not many, especially female strength coaches.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
Even less, probably.
And she's very good at what she does. So it's great to have them there to support us and support swimmers. And she's the same. I love gym. It was one of my favourite things about swimming. And so she's so knowledgeable as well. And she takes me up to the gym and things like that as well. So very involved.
All right, Jade, listen, thanks for joining us. Jade Murphy, the apprentice coach in Limerick. We've also got an apprentice coach from the centre in Dublin here in Zoe Smith, who is joining us, working on the Policy 28. I've been told. Tell us a bit about Policy 28. What is it?
Yeah, so P28, as we call it for short, is it's a group that was set up I think only 2 seasons ago, and it's a group that's set up to try and get swimmers on the squad for the Olympics in 2028, heading to LA. So they're swimmers aged between 14 and 18. And we've got 27 on the squad. 18 of them are full-time, and the rest of them are part-time or in touch. So some of them they're in touch because they've got a little bit further to travel from school. They still want to be part of their home club program. The ones that are full-time with us, they train with us all the time. They will still represent their own club, but we are a big squad, and they train 6 days a week, heavy training. Well, really, really good squad.
That's what swimmers do, though. But in terms of the jump from club to performance centre to junior swimmer to senior swimmer, that's all the progression you do. But every step you take, it gets more and more difficult, doesn't it? And
yes.
So it's a lot of work to get to senior level.
Yes, yeah, and I think the P28 guys, with having the senior guys on hand as well. So the likes of Dara Green and Shane Ryan, they're in training just before them or just after them, and I think it's a real driver for P28 to see what needed to get to the senior level, and I think that the hard work is rubbing off on them.
Sorry, excuse my ignorance. The P28 is females just, or is it?
No,
Male and female? Okay.
Males and females, yeah.
What targeting just qualification at
At
LA.
LA 28, yeah. So
Gotcha.
they're a little bit younger than the senior guys would be. But some of them now are well on track to...
I'm showing my age. I remember it was Team 2012, John, when I was young.
I was thinking not that old.
Team 28, my word. So, and the majority of them swim in Dublin then, under yourself and Steve Beckerleg?
Yeah, myself, Steve Beckerleg and Andrew Addison. So
Yeah.
Andrew is the head coach for P28 and then he's the assistant head coach for the senior guys for NCD. And then I'm assistant coach for P28 and help out a little bit then with the senior guys, just learning from Stephen and Andrew as much as I can.
Great. And sort of similar kind of question I asked Jane. How have you found the transition from...
I found the transition, so I was a swimmer at one point
Yeah.
as well, and I started coaching a really small club in the middle of nowhere, so that transition in itself was quite difficult, but then the transition from the club to performance level, it's a big learning,
That is, yeah,
big
it's
learning
different.
curve. It's a steep learning curve.
Well, it just goes from being extremely, club swimming is very, you'll have aspects of it are very performance-based, but when you step out of a club sort of an environment and move into a performance centre like yourself, then all of a sudden it's just all pure performance.
Yes, yeah, and everybody has like the
how important do you
goals.
think that is for, like, in terms of you're talking about P28 and qualifying swimmers for LA 2028? How important is that level of performance and professionalism every single day at training, not just with swimming, but with S&C, with nutrition, with psychology, all these different things?
Yeah, it is so important. Everything is a factor in what they do, and it's driving that factor home. It's reminding them constantly that it's not just what happens in the pool. You got to look after yourself. You got to sleep. You got to eat right. You got to be drinking loads of fluid, liquid water, and just keeping on top of it. And then if they're ill or injured, you might have to take a couple of sessions off, which will make the recovery a little bit quicker.
And what have you found the most challenging aspect of coaching?
I would say coming from the club level to performance level, there's a lot to learn very
More
quickly.
pressure, kinda?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the athletes are expecting you to be able to perform as we expect them to perform. So it's just
Okay, we'll have more
trying
from
to keep a cool head.
more from Zoe in a second. Just want to finish off this race. This is the bell you can hear for the fourth of 6 heats, and it's our visiting swimmer Valentin Hansberger, who's been out on his own for a long way, and he's leading them home from the Hamilton Aquatics Centre in Dubai. 16 years of age, starting to lap a few swimmers as well. So it's been his dominance in this particular race. The fastest women's swimmer we've seen so far, previous heat, Ruth Kelly, 9:18.24. There is a host of women in the next heat, so it's not done and dusted yet for her, but there you go, there's the winner, Valentin Hansberger, time of 8 minutes 43.66. So he sets the mark for those to come in the last heat, which is all men, including the man we won't all come to see, Daniel Whiffen, who goes in lane number 4.
That was a great low head position there as he was breathing. You could hardly see his mouth come out of the water. That just so important on freestyle to be able to do that, and because the less movement you have with your head, the less movement you're going to have with your body, and the less drag you're going to have. So, and we'll see that exemplified with Daniel Whiffen in a few heats' time.
And it's the only woman involved in that particular heat. The mixed, that's in lane 0. She finishes now. That's Jessica Robson from Lisburn Swimming Club. So there's your full list. Fastest female so far still at 9:18. Fastest male then from that heat of 8:43.66. So we're moving on now to penultimate heat. Heat 5. All women involved in this. A couple of visiting swimmers in this. In fact, 4 from Nova Centurion indeed. Give you the list of swimmers there. They are actually on your screen now.
A few Trojan swimmers as well.
Yeah, we got plenty from the Dublin club. Aer Lingus involved, so is Temple O'Glurgan.
There's always a trend with the distance clubs, isn't there? Aer Lingus always a lot of.
Yeah.
Traditionally been with Alan Turner, been great, produced great distance swimmers down the years.
Ken Turner very much involved there. Holly McInerney from Temple 14-year-old at 0. Grace Cochran in 1 from Lurgan. Then it's Jessica Brandon, Nova Centurion, alongside her teammates Olivia Kingland, and Anna Pierce. Grace Hutchins of Trojan is in lane number 5. Then it's Rebecca Friel of Trojan alongside her. Asgard Swimming Club with Hazel Bentley. It's Anna Niskina of Aer Lingus in lane number 8, and then Jessica Cater of Nova Centurion. She's in lane number 9. 32 lengths of the pool. I wouldn't do it myself. But,
no way.
Fastest woman swimmer so far is from heat 3 of 6. It was Ruth Kelly, 9:18.24. That's the target they've set. It's going to wrap up our conversation with Zoe Smith. Zoe, the High Performance Centre here. We did mention it already about the fact that some of the swimmers, they're not always in the Performance Centre, some of them swim abroad. Is there a push to get them back into the National Aquatic Centre or into the Performance Centre here?
No, I wouldn't think there's a push. I think it's really good for them to go abroad and continue their studies and continue their training. They do check in with us every now and again, coming up to some competitions. We will see them arrive back, and we do keep in contact with them as much as we can.
Oh, we got a little problem.
Oh,
I'm afraid.
Lane 5 is
Lane 5. Sorry about that. Just check.
Grace Hodgins.
Grace Hodgins in lane 5 has stopped. You can't see
a
her
medical
in picture.
issue maybe, or
She looks a little distressed. You'll see her now as you come up to the touch. And she's in the water still. You can see her there, Grace Hodgins, and that doesn't look too good.
too good. Yeah.
Hopefully she's okay. Yeah, a bit of concern for her.
She's breathing heavily.
She looks distressed. Race goes on.
Hopefully she's okay.
Hopefully she is okay. Sorry, we'll keep an eye on that. Jay, just to finish, or Zoe, just to finish your point there.
Yeah, so I think it is really good for them to go out and experience the big world out there, and if they're performing well and they're happy, then that's the main thing.
I think they can bring things home with them as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Different tips and tricks that you don't get. Ireland is the world's a big place, isn't it?
Yes, it is indeed.
And
So just to say that they've taken Grace Hodgins out of the water, and she's sitting down. Hopefully she'll be okay.
Yeah.
Breathing heavy, so it looks like she's okay as the race continues. Sorry, Zoe. So do you enjoy working here with the swimmers?
I absolutely love it. Yeah, the P28, they're a great bunch of kids, and it's getting up at 4 in the morning is, it's not a...
There is a 4 in the morning?
There is a 4 in the morning, there is.
Sucks.
I'll be used to
good
getting in
feeling
at 4
coming
o'clock in the morning.
So does your P28 group, do they train separately from, they do train separately from the centre?
Yes, so the P28, because they're all still in school, they would train earlier and later then in the afternoon. And every now and again we will have some of them will train with the senior guys, maybe on a Saturday morning if they're doing maybe a key set that they can jump in with.
That's great. You see, so what age would sort of those swimmers be? Roughly like 16 sort of?
So our youngest is 14 and our oldest is 18.
You see that chance to swim with the likes of Dara Green, Shane Ryan,
absolutely.
It's
and
unparalleled.
they really appreciate it as well, and Dara and Shane, and they're all great at helping out. They'll stick by some days and they'll give a little bit of tips and feedback on what they're doing. So that's a great help.
They only stand to gain from that, you know.
Good to see Grace Hodgins working away under her own steam there. You just saw it on the left-hand side of your screen before those last 2 laps as well. But so she seems to be okay, but a little bit distressed. But a good job, medical team are here to look after her. We're coming up with
halfway point,
yeah. And it's lane 4. Anna Pierce of Nova Centurion who's leading them through, and say she'll have enough in hand to take the gold medal and take the title. They obviously given us a national title, so there'll be commemorative medals for the visiting teams, and then we go down to our best of the Irish swimmers to get the gold, silver and bronze. So thanks for joining us. I hope it's going to be a very profitable year for you. Do you think?
I think it will be.
So?
We've got a few exciting things coming up, and it's really looking forward to seeing what the P28 and what the senior guys can do over the next couple of months.
We got 2 Olympic cycles now, and we got Paris And then Los Angeles
yes,
to come.
we do indeed.
Oh, next one. So P28 is for Los Angeles.
Mainly for Los Angeles, yeah.
So are you involved at all in the P24, for a better phrase, for Paris 24?
Every now and again I'll help out. If Stephen or
quick.
Andrew need a bit of help, I'll jump in. So learning from them, but mainly with the P28 squad.
It's
yeah,
scary
but
how
the
quickly.
the 3-year gap.
Yes.
It's only just coming around very, very quickly, isn't it?
Yes, it's really coming
I
around
think
too fast.
The qualifying window opens in March or April, I think.
Good Lord.
Scary.
Feels like I'm only just home from
Tokyo, yeah. So.
Anyway, listen, Zoe, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Fills in the gaps in the long race, the 800,
Yes.
800 as well for us as well. So thanks for joining us, and also thanks to Bethany Carson and Jade Murphy earlier on chatting to us. We're in the penultimate heat then of the 800 free, all women so far. And thankfully, Grace Hodgins seems to be okay. That's a little moment of concern for her, but seems to be all right as we continue this race. 9 lengths of the pool to go for our leader, Anna Pearce from Nova Centurion, the 19-year-old.
Nova Centurion always had great distance swimmers. Rebecca Allington from GB was Nova, wasn't she?
Yeah, Becky, yeah.
Yeah, so tradition.
Gold medalist.
Continuing
Two-time Olympic
that
gold
tradition
medalist.
of good distance swimmers, so.
Yeah, it's good that it actually spreads it around. It's been happening in the last couple of years. They bring visiting clubs in as well. Just shows you, particularly to the junior swimmers, of what you have to reach for
definitely.
in clubs like Nova Centurion and even the Maltese swimmers here as well. Because sometimes swimmers might get the illusion that they're the best in the country and there's nobody to touch them when they go abroad.
Big fish in a small
then
pond.
They can get swamped.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I found that when I went to England for university, just all of a sudden it's just the amount is the depth is just scary. And it really brings out the best in you, especially when you race those international competitions, whether it's a lot of these top swimmers will go to the likes of Mare Nostrums and June time before Worlds, Luxembourg in January. I know there's a lot going to that meet. You race against the best swimmers. It's the only way to get faster and get better.
Sure, exactly. And so, see what kind of competition is out there. Best time, we've mentioned this already, Ruth Kelly from New Ross, who won Heat 3 of 6 in 9 minutes 18.24.
Be well under that.
Very well under that, that's right. Best of the male so far, Valentin Hansberger, 8:43.66. We kind of just let our guests go because we want to concentrate ourselves on the last heat, because Daniel Whiffen is competing in that. We want to get some split times and just have a bit of fun with a swim and see what kind of times he can post in that last heat.
I mean, the 800 free record. I mean, he broke it last week, didn't he, on his way?
Yeah, in Scotland.
Oh, he did there, 7:35. So, I mean, that was halfway through his 1500. So you're expecting a lot faster. You see him behind there, just relaxed. Looks very relaxed, very chilled out.
Sorry, our leader is just coming through now in the last lap. There's our leader, Anna Pearce of Nova Centurion. Yeah, it's going to be probably under the 9 minutes. 9:18.24, fastest women so far, but she's got to be just well under that.
Just outside her best, though, I think maybe 8:39 it says.
And she takes that. 8:40. 1-3, fastest woman so far. So she'll get a commemorative medal as the winner of the 800 free. These are all timed finals, so there is no race off for a final later on today. So it's all based on their time. So Anna Pearce is the fastest. Second home was Livia Kingston and Nova Centurion. And then the third of the Nova Centurion swimmers is Jessica Brandon. And it's Rebecca Friel. Yeah, Rebecca Friel in a 9:07.82 will be declared the national champion.
Yeah, great swimming there from the girls. Moving on now to the final heat. It's flown, hasn't it, John? The 800s. They get a hard rap.
Well, the thing about the 800s, if you bring a few guests in and they give you a chat about swimming, the sport we love, and get a good background as well. Hope you enjoyed it at home, talking to Beth, Jade, and to Zoe as well. I'll give you just a bit of a background what the Women in Sport Development Officer does and what the two performance centres in Limerick and Dublin do as well.
here we go. One we've been waiting for now.
Yeah, this is the one we're waiting for.
I'm
All
excited.
right, there he is, Daniel Whiffen in lane number 4. It's Emmett Cousins in 1, then Ben Moran, Elliot Sibley, Jack Fleming, Whiffen, Ray Shaffey, Joseph Kingsland, Dennis O'Brien, Ronan Fahy, and Aidan Gerst of Hamilton. But it's all about the man who swam who's entered in a time of 7 minutes 41.82.
And we're off.
7:35 is the Irish record. 7:35.71. He set that actually while swimming the 1500 at the Scottish National. So the 800 mark he was gone through in 7:35.71, and we get the splits of the 100s and see David if he can
Yeah, he's out in
pace us through and see how will he get close to that, and has he still got anything left in the legs.
He's out in a 26.0, so you know he'll know more than anyone exactly his pacings. You know, interesting to sort of think what he's thinking. You know, how differently he approaches this as opposed to the 1500. You know, obviously it's half the distance, but it's still a distance event. Big gap already, so I mean he'd want to be repping maybe 57s, 56s, maybe even faster. 53.48.
So that's quick.
So the first 100's always way faster because of the
course
dive.
of the dive,
And
exactly.
the excitement, but then you'll settle down. So we'll keep an eye on exactly what he's doing.
He won his heat, the Olympics.
Yes, yeah.
And in the 1500, and it just posted to the world that this guy is something special. That time of in the 1500 he posted is the 6th fastest of all time.
It's incredible.
And it was Paltrineri, that's the guy I was trying to think of. Giorgio
Italian.
Paltrineri, the Italian.
Yeah.
He's 2 seconds quicker than him, and he's the world champion.
I think he might have the world record too.
Yeah, Paltrineri does have the world record, is right.
He's not that far behind him in terms of 7 seconds, so it's it seems like a lot, but on a 1500 it's not a crazy amount. So here we're coming into the
200, yeah.
200 out in a 149.0. That's a really respectable 200 free time.
I tell you, 149.01 years ago would have won an Irish title.
And he's doing it on the way doing the 800. But Daniel Whiffen, I love how even though he's a distance swimmer, I love how he just attacks races. He just goes for it. You know, he knows he's done the training, and he knows, you know, he'll be able to hang on. And look at his legs there. You know, his legs aren't kicking at all. They're just, the balance is brilliant. They're just there as a balancing aid. Great rotation with the arms.
I've been swimming a lot over the years, but I just can't get over just how big he's got. Really tall. He's very lean, and he is kind of a typical distance kind of swimmer. He's got huge, big arms on him as well.
Yeah.
And to
Lope
see
and stroke.
him getting in with the likes of Paltrineri at the Olympic Games as well was amazing to see.
It was.
And he's up with the best now, this fella.
Oh, he is. He's cemented his place now as one of the best distance swimmers in the world.
300 down to
245.
514.
So he's 50. I was about 56 there. So
56 56.
So
just got to keep banging them in now.
imagine repping 56s without a break.
And the next mark we will be at the 400 midway point.
That'll be a telling sign.
Those red markers, by the way, you can see on the lane ropes, signifies to them that they've got 5 meters to go at the top of the pool. That's at the 350 mark. Whiffen will be coming down now to the halfway point.
Really good turns, you know, just he gets such a good push off, doesn't use the legs too much.
All arms so far.
Yeah, coming
breathing
in.
to his left and right, so 400 meters down.
341. That is
exceptional.
That's on world record pace.
So we're looking for the world record.
That's on world record pace. Grant Hackett's world record from 2008.
Wow.
So expected to fade, obviously. 341, my word.
7:35.71, the Irish record. Excuses if we don't keep an eye on what's going on behind, because there's such a race against the clock up front for Daniel Whiffen. Swims for Larne.
It's actually a close race, actually, between Jack Fleming and Rafai Shafi.
Yeah, but he's starting to lap them already.
He is. And these aren't bad swimmers he's lapping either. So it just shows the class.
Just the 500, David.
500, yeah. So he was 341, so we'll check the clock here. Yeah, so he's at 57 low, 56 high. He's holding it.
This is just remarkable.
300 to go here. You'll see him bringing the legs, 100 to go. Quite an open breath, sort of looks behind him quite a lot. Or how flat that head stays is just... It's interesting with his turns, there's no butterfly kick underwater, in the distance events you don't need to, because it'll expel too much energy.
Yeah, Grant Hackett's world record, by the way, is 7:23:42.
Yeah, so he was on world record. He was under world record pace, actually.
Wow, that was set 2008.
Yeah, in a suit.
In a suit. Oh, the shiny suit.
Shiny suit,
well, that makes it even better. There you go. That's gone through the 600.
150. Is that 600? Yeah, it is.
That's 5 minutes 34:42.
Come on, Daniel.
Nobody in sight. This is all about Daniel Whiffen and the clock. 21 years of age from Larne now. Safely ensconced along with the brother at Loughborough University.
150 to go. He looks great. You'll see him, John, bringing the legs now. Slightly more from a 2-beat kick to almost like a 4-beat kick. I'm getting goosebumps here.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, coming up to the last 100.
Yes, we'll get a 700
The lactate will be swollen.
6:31.26. Slightly slower that time.
Slower.
This is the last 100 with Daniel Whiffen.
He's gonna go sub 7:30 easy.
7:35.71 is the Irish record set in Scotland last week. The crowd here are rising to him.
Needs
the
to bring in the
bell.
legs, last length.
He would have to go sub 24 seconds to break the world record, but he should go under the Irish. 25 meters to swim.
Here we go.
For Daniel Whiffen. 7 minutes 35.71 seconds. We had an Irish club record this morning for Ards. What's Whiffen's time here? My word, what a swim. He's only 2 seconds off the world record, folks. 7 minutes 25.96 seconds. A new European record. It's only 2 seconds less, a second and a half, off a world record set in a shiny suit back in 2008 by Grant Hackett.
Arguably the greatest distance swimmer of all time.
Unbelievable.
And Daniel Whiffen has just gone within 2 seconds of that. Can't believe I've just seen that.
Unbelievable.
He doesn't even look tired.
You're looking at a man who's
He can go faster, John. He can go faster.
Second and a half of a world record in a heat swim. I'm blown away by that.
I'm telling you, if he was in a race or world championships or, with all them around him, he'd have done that. That is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, phenomenal time that is.
7:25. European record, we should say.
Wow.
Fastest man ever from Europe.
Well, we don't say that very often. In fact, we don't say that at all about Irish swimmers.
No, that's...
7 minutes, 25.96 seconds. A new European record. He took nearly 10 seconds off the record that he set last week.
John, he must have came home there in the 50...
Well,
54?
Yeah, 54, yeah, he did.
Yeah, he must have. Faster.
Wow, 54, 55. That's just amazing. Right, put that in context. World record, 2008, 7 minutes 23:42. He's just swum 7 minutes 25.96 seconds. Daniel Whiffen, you've just witnessed the birth of an Irish superstar.
Yeah. There he is, giving the biggin. Good lad.
Yes, you are, Daniel. You are number one.
You are the man.
Wonderful, wonderful. That would have you would have won a world championship medal with that, possibly gold. I didn't see the 800 free time.
I wonder how many have been faster than him. I wonder if...
It wouldn't say there's many.
He was sixth, wasn't he, in the 1500 of all time? I mean, that must be Third,
was
second,
definitely
or
the
third.
fastest time in the world this year. It's got to be. And you can see the other swimmers around and applauding, and he sits on the line rope and does the big
And
splash.
that's why he waited for everyone to finish.
Yeah, no, in fairness to him, that's good sportsmanship as well.
That
Was a pleasure to see
that
that.
is the greatest swim I've seen.
And
by an
that's a
Irish
great
person.
shot. Andrew Bree, the Olympian, on your right-hand side, congratulating Daniel Whiffen on that swim. He'd have called him home by the side of the pool, and he deserves that pat on the back. Wow.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to chatting to him later on, I must say. We'll be back at 5 o'clock, because that's our time for the final this evening, but there's nothing to top that. That's just absolutely extraordinary. Thanks for the moment, David, and
Yes.
we'll be back this evening at 5 o'clock. I think you should go for a big long lie down after that.
Yeah, I
That
need
was
it.
wonderful, and a pleasure to be here to see that.
Yeah, it was amazing.
From John Kenny, from David Johnson for the moment, we'll talk to you at 5 o'clock this evening for the finals, and we'll go off and enjoy that.
300 freestyle to our junior females. Okay, so a bronze medal presented by Okay, so medals are presented by our double Olympian, Mr. Andrew Bree, who's also providing for this currently in possession of Miss Patricia Cleary. So a bronze medal goes to Nessa Godden from Kilkenny Swimming Club. And our junior gold medal is presented to Rebecca Friel of Trojan. We're now going to present medals to our junior boys. A bronze medal is presented to Ben Moran of Aer Lingus. Thanks very much to Andrew Bree, our double Olympian. Silver medal to Ronan Fahy of Trojan. And a junior gold medal is presented to Dennis O'Brien of National Centre Limerick. Now, moving on to present our medals to our senior girls. We have, in third place, a bronze medal to Ruth Kelly of New Ross. A silver medal to Hazel Bentley of Asgard Swimming Club. And gold medal is presented to Rebecca Friel of Trojan Swimming Club. And we're going to present commemorative medals to Jessica London of Nova, to Livia Kingsland, also of Nova, and Anya Priest, also of Nova Centurion. Congratulations, ladies. Thank you very much. We'll now move on to present medals to our senior boys, senior men even. A bronze medal is presented to Dennis O'Brien of National Centre Limerick. Thank you to Andrew Bree for presenting these medals, and a silver medal is presented to Jack Fleming of Lisbon Swimming Club. A commemorative medal is due to Rafay Shafi of Hamilton Aquatics, one of our visiting clubs this weekend. And last but not least, we're going to present a gold medal to Mr. Daniel of Larne Swimming Club. And we have some certificates to present to Daniel for his magnificent achievements over the last few weeks. We're going to begin with a presentation for a certificate for his Irish senior record in the 400-metre individual medley, his 1,500-metre freestyle, and he also got 3 records in the 800-metre freestyle this weekend. One of which is actually a European record. Congratulations, Daniel. Thanks very much for everything you've done today.